Last episode, we discussed why neutral wins. This episode, we're going to go a little offensive. I'm going to teach you how to become more persuasive. I'm Corey Shapiro. This is the Getting Divorced Without Losing Your Mind podcast. In this episode, I'm going to introduce to you the concept of CLEAR, which is a framework for how to become more persuasive. Now, let me put my lawyer hat on to tell you the big shift. The big shift, as we addressed last episode, is your role as a spouse is over. And there's going to be times during your divorce where you or your partner are going to want to try to settle things. And how you communicate in those situations is really, really important. Because in those opportunities, they either can go south really fast and escalate and cause a lot of problems and friction. And if you have children, that's going to be unhelpful to an effective co-parenting relationship. Or you can use these moments to be persuasive. And I know that's so hard to do because you're grieving. Maybe you have reduced capacity because how overwhelmed and flooded you are. So I've created this concept to be clear so you can think through how to do this. Okay. Now we're just going to touch on this. I'm just introducing it. Over the next few episodes, we're going to go into depth under each idea. But let's go through it all now so you just have everything. And it's going to take a little time. Time you learn something new is going to take time. So let's just go through it. All right. So first, the C. The C stands for calm their emotions first. Now, the tendency is to become defensive, to think things from our perspective. But the difference, if you want to be skillful, is you think from their perspective. Because they're not going to give us what we want until we give them what they want. And if you come from an understanding place, you're increasing your chances that the other side's going to soften, be a little bit more flexible. And that's how you become a little bit more persuasive. All right. The L is you're looking for small agreements. We're trying to build momentum. We're not deadlocking on our big issues. So if you can figure out if you're doing a parenting situation and you disagree on 80% of the things, but you agree on alternating holidays, spend time on that. Spend time on that and think it through, the times. Think through how this is all going to work. Do you want to travel? Do you want to alternate? Do you want to share? Is it going to be a joint? Think all that through and discuss that. That's how you're building goodwill. E, shared values. Positions deadlock. So I want full custody versus I want full custody. Things escalate. It's a problem. Values is what you share. So we both want our children to thrive. How do you fight that? You can't fight that. See, that's not a position. So express shared values. And then A is ask, don't demand. When we demand things, we close down. When we ask open-ended questions in a neutral way, not in a judgy way, we are getting expansive. For example, what would make this parenting schedule work? Based on your schedule, based on my schedule, and based on the children's needs. R is respond neutrally. If we respond with sarcasm, with the eye roll, with judgment, that's a problem. That escalates. I know it's very hard to do. Sometimes second nature to be sarcastic, second nature to eye roll. Because maybe what you're hearing is ridiculous. And let me give you an example of what I see. So let's say you're trying to work out custody. You just found out recently about a divorce. You don't want to spend money on an attorney. You don't want to go through a difficult divorce. and your relationship is okay. It's not great, but it's not bad. But then you say, let's just discuss things, have like a conversation, hopefully in a public place. So that's sort of like a built-in way of not to escalate. And this spouse of yours who wants this divorce, who's been working 80 hours a week, who hasn't really come to parent-teacher conferences, who hasn't really shown an effort, loves the children, no question about that, but not actively involved, tells you they want 50-50. And if you don't have this framework, this clear framework, the first thought in my mind is, are you kidding me? I mean, this is ridiculous. I'm the primary parent. That's what I would be thinking. And that's why I'm giving you this framework, because you're going to have to say, okay, I have to be clear. Calm their emotions first. You have to understand, you don't know what type of pre-divorce planning they've had. You don't know what type of anchoring they're doing. We're going to get into that and how you can be strategic. We're not worrying all about that. All we're trying to do is calm their emotions. And you're trying to figure out something, why they would say that. Let's say it's disingenuous. They're just saying that so maybe they're going to move something on finances. You can't say that. Can't be logical. This is emotional. So calm their emotions first is, you want to be meaningfully involved with the children. Yeah, that's calm their emotions first. I never said we agreed to 50-50, but we're in their experience, right? You're looking for small agreements. You can say, well, the holidays are coming up or the summer's coming up. Why don't you take 2 weeks? I'll take 2 weeks. Does that work for you? And let's see how that goes. And let's play it out. You can talk about the itineraries. All right. So then you expressed, shared values. We both want this parenting plan to best serve our children. Yeah. Didn't say the parenting plan that best serves the children are with me. That's a position. Then we go A. How can we ensure that based on your work schedule that you're going to be able to be there for the children? And they may have a whole different idea. Maybe they rather, instead of the children being with you, the primary parent, just to get back at you, they may hire a nanny and the children will be with the nanny until like 8 p.m., until they come home, rather than being with you. That's maybe where they are at this point. But we're just asking questions. This is not a time to resolve things. We might not be able to resolve it. We're just trying to keep some type of co-parenting relationship going because we're playing the long game. And children thrive best when you're dealing with when they have parents who can get along civilly. And then we respond neutrally. Let's test it out. Let's see how it goes. And then you can always work it out. Or if it's really, you're feeling like really this is just ridiculous, you can say, why don't we, this is all good information. This is very interesting. Why don't we discuss this idea with a child development expert and flesh it out and come up with a parenting plan, a written parenting plan to avoid attorneys and avoid court. How can you say no to that? That's pretty good. Okay, now I know some objections. First, this feels fake. Yeah, it is. We're faking it till we make it. That's what we're doing. We're learning how to communicate under stress. I know you're a little bit compromised. If you're going through a divorce, I know you might be grieving or angry, and you're just learning this framework, how to do it, so you can ramp up your skill set really quickly and really easily. Okay, and you're not going to be perfect at this. I'm not perfect at the clear concept, but it helps you remember the steps. And you're going to be doing this anyway at your best if you weren't so triggered. The core message is being clear isn't about being nice. This is not about being nice. This is about being effective. This is about being persuasive. This is about helping you get where you need to go for you and your children. So let me give you an action step. I want you, before you have a conversation like this, or before you have a settlement, discussion, I want you to visualize this conversation. I want you to run through clear once. Okay, just run through it. And I know this is, changing a pattern that is ingrained. may be going on for decades, how you communicate. But just visualize it, run through it in your mind, and let's start this process. All right, next episode, we're going to go deeper into this concept. And we're going to start off with the C, calm their emotions first. I'm Corey Shapiro. Let's step forward with clarity together.
This podcast offers general information only. It cannot replace legal advice. If you need tailored advice, contact an attorney licensed to practice in your area.